name is Susan Burke. I'm proud to serve as the treasurer of St. Vartan Park Conservancy. I'd like to thank you all, thank you Harvey, for coming out to our lovely garden for this wonderful occasion. It's such a welcome feeling to gather and celebrate, especially as we head into the holidays. Before we hear from our speakers, I want to propose a theme for today, that equity and community partnerships are vital for New York City public parks. Thanks to the generosity of the Soloviev Foundation, today the Conservancy is able to complete the 5th phase of a garden equity plan. So it's my pleasure to introduce you to the individual who started that plan before he founded the Conservancy 2.5 years ago, our president, Kevin O'Keefe.
Thank you, Sue. Big addition to the Conservancy Board. And our other board member, Stephanie, is here. Thank you both for your dedication and guidance. Now, we're all volunteers for the Conservancy, but they bring professional skills to the Conservancy. Sue happens to be a professional treasurer, and she's our treasurer, so we're very fortunate. On behalf of the full Conservancy team, thank you all to come out on this very historic day for the garden. As Sue alluded to, equity and inclusion are the winners today. You are the first visitors to the ADA-compliant entrance and pathway that now grace this green oasis. Thank you for being here. This full accessibility allows park visitors of all abilities to experience this rare stretch of Midtown Manhattan green space. Starting today, disabled visitors who use wheelchairs, scooters, and other mobility devices can enjoy this green oasis. This enhanced entrance and new pathway is the result of a collaboration between the Soloviev Foundation and St. Vartan Park Conservancy. Our partnership on the project started with a simple belief: public parkland should be accessible to all. As Sue mentioned, thank you. As Sue mentioned, today the Conservancy completes a 5-phase equity plan. This plan values inclusivity, diversity, mental health, and other community needs. Quickly, the 5 stages we've gone through. Phase 1 was opening the garden to the general public for a trial period after decades of closure to show that the garden should be for all. Phase 2 was open the garden on a perpetual basis in sync with the launch of a conservancy.
And we look forward to seeing this garden grow and be an inviting space for many field trips and many visitors.
Phase 3 was to remove the inner wire fencing that was blocking public access to a significant part of this green space. Phase 4, to add public programming and to broaden the garden's public hours. Phase 5 reads, provide garden accessibility to visitors of all abilities, and I think we reached that goal today. The grassing you see here a little bit, it will all grow in, so this will look like a seamless lawn with the cobblestones. The cobblestones, we worked with the Parks Department to make sure that it reflected the cobblestones that have been in the park for decades, so hopefully you can appreciate that look. There are 2 photos you see here when you walked in 1928 and 1936. The photo from 1936 shows that the pathway mirrors the same shape. So we're proud that we kept that history in place. The Conservancy's collaboration with Soloviev Foundation was fostered by one Stacey Soloviev. Stacey has been a longtime leader on ADA compliance. She also happens to be a dedicated member of this community. Starting a year and a half ago, Stacey and some of her children became St. Vartan Park Conservancy volunteers. Stacey's first Conservancy volunteer duty was handing out books in the garden at a Conservancy public children's book experience. That day in the garden, Stacey brought up the idea of an accessible entrance and pathway. You can imagine we immediately bonded. Stacey, thank you for being a friend and being an angel. The Conservancy also applauds Michael Hershman for his dedication to community and accessibility. We also recognize Michael's military service for this country. The Conservancy wants to make sure that wounded warriors, in addition to others in the disability community, can enjoy this garden and future programming. It is my honor to introduce you to Stacey and Michael.
This really is special to us because we live in the neighborhood. We're not only
work in the neighborhood. But if you look at Stacey, this beautiful woman standing next to me, and her gorgeous daughters over there and her son, they love this community. And they want to see this community grow and prosper and maintain its character at the same time. Don't thank us. We thank you for the privilege, the Parks Department, the Conservancy, allowing us to do this. And before would you like to say a few words, Stacey? You okay? By the way, this lovely young woman has 2 grandchildren that live in this neighborhood as well, that are not with us today. But I do want to say before I leave that as a disabled Army veteran, today Army is playing Notre Dame at Yankee Stadium. Go Army! Thank you all.
Thank you again, Stacey, and to your whole family, really. It's been an honor. A huge thank you also to Manhattan Borough Parks Commissioner Tricia Shimamura, and also her dedicated team. This includes Chief of Staff Steve Simon, Deputy Chief of Staff Max Goodstein, who have been very involved in this project, the Parks Department District Manager Sheena Kaufman, and I know I saw her today, Supervisor Lori Knowles, and their full East Midtown team. They've been great partners. To the Conservancy, it was no wonder that they won a prominent New York City Parks Annual Award this year, Best Sustained Performance. Thank you. And I think Justin, the Supervisor of the Park, is here as well. Thank you. I am thrilled that the Borough Commissioner is here and is able to grace us with some words of wisdom. Tricia?
Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me okay. My name is Tricia Shimamura, and it's a tall order for some words of wisdom on a chilly day like today, but I will not pass up an opportunity to say a few thank yous to the incredible people who helped put today's event together, but also, most importantly, created some much-needed accessibility in this extremely critical green space on the east side. So once again, I just want to first and foremost thank my fellow Parkies who are not big public speakers, but are huge on public service, and they're in the back there. So thank you again. Doesn't matter if it's cold or 100 degrees outside or windy or somewhere in between, but you'll see Parkies out in our parks every single day doing the jobs that are needed to be done, and I'm just so incredibly grateful to be representing that team. I also just want to say thanks to Kevin and the Conservancy, not only for their leadership here in St. Barton's, but also for their convening power. My goodness, I cannot believe the amount of elected officials and community members that come out every time they say, let's come to St. Barton's Park. Every single time they have a tremendous amount of advocacy and a huge voice, and they've been using that to better this incredibly important green space. So thank you to the Conservancy again. And finally, I just want to say that it is truly held in all of our hearts here that our parks are truly not just trimmings. They are not a luxury, but instead they are vital living infrastructure. Just as important as any streets or any bus or subway, our parks are needed for so much around resiliency, mental health, sustainability, you name it, heat mitigation, and so much more. But we are only as good as our ability to serve all New Yorkers. And so that is why we're here today, to thank so much the leadership of our neighbors, the generosity and forward thinking and strategy of our Conservancy, and of course the expertise of our Parkies in making another space accessible and serving all New Yorkers. So on behalf of Commissioner Sue Donahue and on behalf of the Parks Department, we're so thrilled to be joining you today and so grateful for everyone's continued investments in our kind of vital living infrastructure that is our park system. Thank you again.
Thank you, Commissioner. This pathway addition will look glorious in the spring. A lot different than it looks now. 6 days ago, Conservancy volunteers added 300 new flower bulbs in a Partnership for Parks Volunteer Day here. I see Ken Adele is here. He did most of the planting, but also did a lot of planting. Where's Faith Bondi? Faith Bondi, digging in the dirt, putting bulbs down, raking leaves. Thank you, Faith. Before we hear from our esteemed United States Congressman, I want to recognize Ken Adele a little bit more Kit did not only most of the bulb planting, he's here regularly to make sure the garden has the water, planting, other needs. Some days he's here for hours. He was here at 7 o'clock this morning. This hasn't been easy during this long dry stretch. Ken, we're so fortunate. He's volunteered after a long career with Radio City Music Hall. It is now my pleasure to introduce you to Representative Nadler, who represents both Radio City Music Hall and St. Vartan Park in his huge district.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to New York City Parks leadership, New York City Council Parks Committee Chair Shekar Krishnan, and the disability rights activists of the Soloviev Foundation for gathering us here today. It's great to be here with all of you as we unveil the St. Vartan Park Garden ADA-compliant entrance and celebrate the completion of the Garden Equity Plan. This new pathway will make St. Vartan Park accessible for New Yorkers living with disabilities, families with children, and more, so all can enjoy this Midtown Manhattan treasure. I applaud the work of the Soloviev Foundation and the St. Vartan Park Conservancy in creating a clean entry with maneuverability for those who use wheelchairs, scooters, and other mobility devices as part of their garden equity plan. After decades of closure, St. Vartan has become a critical part of the Murray Hill community, providing an open space for neighbors and visitors alike to gather and escape the hectic pace of daily life. The Conservancy has worked hard to achieve all 5 steps of the Garden Equity Plan, extending access to the public and now to visitors with disabilities. I'm grateful to members of the Conservancy and the many advocates who have worked tirelessly to make today's opening possible. Thank you all.
Some community board members are here today. Some I know as fellow members of Community Board 6. We serve East Midtown. Sandy McKee is the chair of CB6. She's more than that. She's also an inspiration to the Conservancy in a role with Alliance for Kips Bay. Sandy's also been a mentor, so thank you for everything. Neil Barkley is the chair. I don't know if Neil's here, of the CB6 Parks and Landmarks Committee, but I did see Sarah Whittington, who's on that committee, is here. Where is Sarah? Sarah, thank you for being with us. Conservancy loves that the Manhattan Borough President is here. One of his duties is overseeing the 12 Manhattan community boards. He's also an advocate for adding 1 million more trees to the city and many, many other worthy causes. It is my pleasure. Mark Levine.
Give it up for Kevin O'Keefe. Give it up for Michael and Stacey Soloviev. Let me get this right now. Go Army. I got that right? Okay. Very, very good. Give it up for our Manhattan Borough Parks Commissioner, who truly offered us some wise words of wisdom. We love you, Tricia Shimamura. Give it up for star of late night television, Assembly Member Harvey Epstein. And we are always thrilled to be in the presence of the Dean of the New York Congressional Delegation, Jerry Nadler. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Man, St. Vartan's is one of the great success stories of parks of recent years, all over New York City. I really believe that. What you have done in the last 2.5 years, I'm thinking back to a day in May of 2022, when you opened the gates here in a space that has not been open to the public for many years. And just to see the succession of progress here, the landscaping and the greening and the fences coming down, this incredible accessibility upgrade, it is what a park should be, and it's been powered by you, by the volunteers. I'm really grateful to every single one of you who has made this possible. Oh, I want to shout out also your treasurer here, my dear friend, Sue Burke. Thank you, Sue. And everyone who made this possible. Congratulations, St. Vartan's.
As it was alluded to, there's only one person here today who is the subject of a recent Saturday Night Live sketch. Yes, yes, yes. State Assembly Member Harvey Epstein, whose district includes this park. For the second consecutive year, the Conservancy is working with the Assembly Member on his annual Thanksgiving Turkey Drive. We are handing out free turkeys at the garden entrance here from 3 to 5 on Monday to those who make tomorrow evening's registration deadline. Let's hear from a man SNL contends is still on his first chance. Harvey,
Thank you, Kevin, I think. So, I didn't know anything about it. They did a skit about me without telling me. It was funny. It is weird to be on national TV and an SNL skit. I really want to thank folks at St. Vartan Conservancy. They've really done so much in a few short years to make this available, beautiful green space for all of us in this community. It is rare where we get more open space and be able to have space that people can use, enjoy, the book signings, the turkey giveaways, the planting, all those things are critical. But to make this now accessible to all New Yorkers is such a huge thing because so much in New York isn't accessible, whether it's our subways, whether it's our streets, whether it's our buildings. To have open space that people with disabilities can go into every day, it's pretty amazing. So Kevin, Sue, thank you for all your work. Really, Michael and Stacey, thank you for giving us this opportunity to make this available and for your support and your donations. All the other folks who are with us, the disability advocates who are standing up for this issue. Obviously, Mike and I go way back. We know how critical this is. This is the space for all of us. We should all be proud. And we look forward to using this in warmer weather when it's blooming and beautiful. It's beautiful now, but it'll be more beautiful then. Thank you all.
Thank you, Harvey. I did want to introduce Michael Schweinsburg, who is here. He is best known as an award-winning disability rights activist. He advocates for a large group. This year, the CDC reported that more than 70 million adults in the United States endure a disability. In 2015, Michael was a major force behind the organization of the city's first Disability Pride Parade. It's my pleasure to welcome Michael Schweinsburg.
Thank you very much for that warm introduction. I also want to point out that we're joined by Ed Funches, who is the president of Inclusion. It's an amazing organization that finds employment for people with disabilities, people formerly incarcerated, and people who experience homelessness. He's also a member of our club. And I'm the president of the 504 Democratic Club. Now, before you say, oh, is this going to get political? No. Our first vice president is a Republican. Our recording secretary is an independent. Because it's not about partisan politics. Disability visits every part of our community. We're totally intersectional. We're found in every single segment of society in every nation in the world. We are the largest minority, by far. Now, talk about the larger disability community, those people with whom disability rights really resonate, our families, our friends, co-workers, fellow students, allies, caregivers, and guess what? We're the vast majority of Americans. And it's something that is now well known and well celebrated, as is exemplified by this accessibility project that we're unveiling today, and so many others throughout the city. We thank the good folks from St. Martin's for providing this today. It is a great step forward. I can't thank you enough for making this available to our community. Thank you kindly.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you. To the entire disability community, as we mentioned, we are so happy that we have this enhancement today. The Conservancy wants to recognize those here today from the Murray Hill Neighborhood Association, including its new president, John Harari. I think I saw John. Where's John? Hey, John. It's always great to see you. And, he has served as a Conservancy volunteer and lives across the street from the park. State Assembly member Alex Boris's district reaches across the street from the park. I had the pleasure of planting grasses with the Assembly member last Saturday during an Inchmark Park session hosted by Alliance for Gibbs Bay.
For the record, Alex Boris knows how to work a shovel, even in dry dirt. Here's Alex Boris.
Thank you. Alex Boris knows how to work a shovel is by far my favorite introduction I've ever gotten. So thank you for that. It's good to be here with everyone. State Assemblymember Alex Boris, the 73rd District. This is such a wonderful occasion. Spaces like this garden are rare and precious in Manhattan, places where we can all come together as a community, and making sure that we can all come together is an important fact. And so having this ramp in, having this be accessible, is really living up to the promise of this garden. So I want to thank the Conservancy, I want to thank the Soloviev Foundation for funding this, and I also want to congratulate everyone involved for doing something rare in government, which is completing a 5-step plan in 3 years. That is unheard of. And that efficiency we're all going to benefit from. So thank you to Kevin, thank you for the Soloviev Group, thank you to Parks, to all of my partners in government that are up here. It really makes a huge difference to have a space that works for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. The chair of New York City Council's Parks Committee is Queens Council member Shekar Krishnan. Mark Levine's old job. Really? We're thrilled that the council member is here today. Last month, the Conservancy Board was with Shekar at City Parks Foundation. Big fundraiser, $1.3 million raised for parks that evening. There we saw the council member's absolute passion for our city's public parks. There's no bigger advocate. Council member, thank you for your work on behalf of Green Space. You have the floor.
Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to see you all. Thank you so much, Kevin, for that nice introduction. I'm Councilmember Shekar Krishnan from Jackson Heights, Queens. So I came over from pretty far commute across the water, and I'm here. And this is my younger son, Ajay, who's busy with his Rubik's Cube right now. But I'm so proud to be here today for the unveiling of the accessible pathway. You know, one of the main things for me as the Parks Chair of the New York City Council, and prior to that as a civil rights lawyer for a number of years, is the importance of making our public spaces accessible for everyone. As Mike Schweinsburg knows, and I'm so proud to see him here too, disability justice is an intersectional issue. It connects with every other issue that we face in the city. And frankly, we can't move forward as a city or a society until we make sure individuals with disabilities have access to all the same resources and public accommodations as everyone else. And I believe that strongly as a fair housing lawyer before. So to now take that advocacy to celebrate our public spaces that are also accessible, making sure that our parks in particular, our green spaces, are open and welcome and inviting to everyone is a crucial role of what I believe is important in our advocacy in the New York City Council and in government more generally when it comes to supporting our green spaces. So to the St. Vartan Park Conservancy, to Kevin, to Sue, thank you so much for having me. It was so nice to meet you at this City Parks Foundation event. And I just want to really congratulate you all for, as Alex said too, in such a short time to complete all the different pillars of this 5-step plan to show how much parks connects to accessibility, to mental health, to open space, to arts and culture. Thank you so much.
Oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please, don't fence me in. Just turn me loose. Let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western skies. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise.